games that exercise the brain are a growing business. Joining us now is Henry Manca. He's a neuroscientist and CEO of Posit Science, a company that produces a line of brain games available online. And he agreed to put me through the paces. Welcome, Dr. Manca.
It's nice to see you, Lark.
All right, how do your games, your exercises, differ, say, from doing traditional crossword puzzles?
Well, to understand that, we have to say a little bit about what happens to the brain as we get older. And what happens to the brain as we get older is it starts to slow down and it starts to process information less accurately. It's kind of like a radio that's going off tune a little bit, and it starts to be more static in the brain, so it becomes harder to remember things. And what these exercises are specifically designed to do is speed up and make more efficient what's going on in the brain, to bring that radio back onto tune so information is coming in through quickly and strongly and getting stored in memory well.
I want to be sure I'm clear about this, because I thought that some of the new research about the brain is that we don't necessarily have decay, that things don't necessarily slow down. So what are you saying?
Well, they don't have to, and I think all of us have seen people who've stayed absolutely as sharp as a tack throughout their life. But if you look on the average, if you look at thousands or millions of people as they get older, on the average we start to slow down and suffer more of those senior moments or memory lapses as we see them. And so what these exercises are designed to do is help more of us, let's say average people, look and act and behave and have the memory and sharpness of those people who are absolutely at their peak performance.
All right, so before we tackle our first game, or you prefer the word exercise, don't you? Or brain training.
Think of them as brain training and
exercises. I know the term that you prefer, but it's okay if people think of them, because you want them to think of it as fun,
absolutely.
right?
They are fun and engaging, absolutely.
All right, but you also say it's these are research-based to improve cognitive performance. So what does that mean?
So what we mean by cognitive performance is things like memory. How much can you remember? If you go to the store, do you remember what your spouse told you to pick up there? Or attention. Do you feel like you're sharp and you can really keep up with things? Or even speed. As we all know, the world is getting faster and faster, and we want to keep up with a rapid pace of, whether it's kids or our friends or the news and the world around us.
All right, well, let's try an exercise. So we chose one that just seemed interesting. This one has to do with intelligence, and you call it juggle factor.
Juggle factor,
right,
that's
so
right. So what we mean. So let's start there in the with the middle one on the top, if you don't mind. And what this exercise does is it explicitly exercises working memory. And what I mean by that is the ability of your brain to juggle a lot of information at the same time, to keep it in mind and select the pieces of information that you need and want at the right time. So we see all these circles moving around, and then we see these numbers appearing, 1, 2, 3. And it seems simple. You have to wait till they stop moving and then click on the circles that had the numbers in the, oops, got the first one wrong already.
Right. As I should say, the first time I tried it, it was actually a little confusing, and it was hard to remember not to start until they stopped. So you have to focus on these.
That's exactly right. In fact, I'm terribly distracting you as I do this.
Well, we realize that maybe if I'm doing an interview and playing the game actually isn't what you would recommend for people to do at home.
Well, that's okay. But as you saw, once you got one wrong, it actually got easier. So what's great about these exercises is that they adapt to be exactly right for you. Okay. And some people are having a worse day because they're on camera and talking to me. Right. And other people, you might be having a really sharp day, and you need the exercise to be as hard and as challenging as possible.
Let's make a move again just to give a sense of it. And we should point out that you do recommend focus, concentrate. You can't do this and watch TV.
No, that's exactly right. In that sense, it's like going to the gym. You want to focus on what you're doing to be at your best. Okay. Just click any of them, and it'll go on to the next. It'll go on to the next one. It's going to show you which one it was. All right. All right. Here we go. So I'm gonna pay attention now too. There's number 1. There's number 2. So then they're going to stop and click on that one.
Click on
perfect. And that one. Super, you got that one right. And as you get them right, it's actually going to push up to get harder now.
Right.
So we'll do
it kind of reminds me of the whole Lucy Ethel thing with the conveyor belt speeding
Well, that's exactly right. But that's what we want from a sharp brain. We want to be able to keep up with something that's fast and complicated like that.
Let me just ask you, let's talk about cost. You do offer some things for free, but you also have subscriptions, basically.
That's right. So when we launched this program online, we wanted anyone to be able to come out and do a set of the exercises for free. So in fact, there's 4 exercises on this that anyone can do for free, and as long as they like, at no cost whatsoever. We wanted anyone to be able to come and give it a try. And then if people like it and see benefit from it, and thousands of people have, then in fact you can subscribe. And in fact, it's as inexpensive to unlock all of the exercises as $8 a month.
All right, so let's try another one. People skills. We can all use better people
Super.
skills.
So
All
go
right.
back and click on BrainHq on the upper left there.
Upper left, yep.
And that will take you back to your menu, and you can find people skills down there.
There it is. And so we're going to go to people skills recognition.
That's
All
right.
All
So,
right.
you know, when we think about people skills, what's interesting here is that these basic abilities of the brain, how fast it processes information, how well it can store things in memory, these actually can have a huge impact, a huge influence on things like just you and me talking. Right. So, for example, if my brain is starting to slow down, I might not notice the little expressions you make to show me whether you're happy with how our conversation is going or whether you're getting a little tired of this. And if I miss those subtle social cues, you know, I can be the person at the party who's always one beat off behind things and not really keeping up.
So you're not able to fully engage or to fully enjoy the moment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so what these exercises are designed to do is to resharpen those parts of our brain that are specific to how we interact with people, how we recognize facial expressions, how we learn names and faces, all those kinds of things that give us a rich and social life.
All right, so let's try now. So where do we start with this one?
Go on the upper left there, click on that, that will go away, and then click on that lock.
Okay, loading, love that.
So what this exercise is going to do, click start and we'll give it a go. So you're going to see someone's face very quickly right there.
Very quickly. Right.
And you have to recognize which face did you see. You might move that mouse so we can see the face
right, so
a
we can
bit
see the
better.
face. Thank you very much.
And as you can see, we've hidden some of the things like the hair and the ears, which make it very, very distinctive
right.
who's who. So your brain really has to work hard to rapidly notice who that is and store it in memory. And again, you're doing great at this. We make this faster and faster because we want the brain to process that information about the face, recognize who that is absolutely as quickly as possible, so that when you run into someone at a, you know, at a party or out at the park, you know, you have that immediate sense of, oh, that's who that is. I know who they are. I know who they're about.
How often do you, what's your recommendation in terms of how often do you need to do these to see any real benefit?
You know, it's just like physical fitness. You know, with physical fitness, doctors say, hey, can you do something? Can you get your heart rate up 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week? And that's exactly what we're looking like for brain fitness as well.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in, Dr. Henry Monka with Posit Science. We appreciate it. Thanks for putting me through the paces, and I've got my concentration work to do.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.